Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy to be filming today. I'm feeling a little better. And so I thought that I would just do a color and chat from Deborah Muller's new book. This is Storybook, Princesses, Divas, Villainesses, and Heroes. And this book was just recently released. I'll do a quick little flip through here just to give you an idea of what's in the book, and then there'll be a link down below to this book in case you might be interested in this book. I really like this one. It's a cute little spin on the different characters from different stories and things, and of course, they're all single-sided. I love Deborah Muller's work. I thought that it would be fun to color out of a little bit today. This is a super quick flip through. And this is the one I'm going to do. I think that I'm going to work on. This is just my paper. This one. It's a cute little book. It's got a lot of images inside to work on. And there's the end. I just recently joined Deborah Muller's Facebook group. I did not even realize that she had one. So if you like Deborah Muller, check her out on Facebook. There's actually some freebies there that you can download. So let me zoom this in a little bit. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm on the mend. This little infection that I've had this time just really sent me for a loop. So I've spent the past few days just laying around, not really doing any coloring or anything like that. I did not color at all on Monday or Tuesday. I pre-recorded the Hoo Hero review, and I had pre-recorded the Tabby Tuesday because I wanted, you know, of course, to get those up on the channel. And I knew by the way I was feeling Sunday, I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to record these or they're not gonna go up. So apparently my blood pressure was kind of bottoming out when I would stand up. There's just all kinds of problems. It's probably dehydration. So I've been trying to drink as much as possible, and that's hard for me when it comes to drinking water. I was making the joke to a friend the other day. She was like, you really need to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And I was like, I am. I brew my coffee and my tea in water. I was only half joking. But I do, I mean. And most of my, when I make tea, I make the decaf tea. So the caffeination is generally what causes the dehydration. And I do consume a lot of coffee, but only caffeinated first thing in the morning. The rest of the day, if I'm having coffee, it's decaf. Of course, I know that I need to be consuming more water. It's just, it's so difficult. I'm not a fan of water at all. I never have been. I don't understand why. Flavored water is okay. I can work with that. But yeah. And I just used Peach in Spectrum Noir for the skin tone. I'm using my Ohuhu markers. And I just didn't really see anything that I wanted to use for skin. So I just grabbed that one because I thought that looked okay. And I'm looking for number 56 here. I think I'm going to use 56. Yeah, 56. And that's the thing with the Ohuhus is they're great little markers, but all you have is a number on the top. You don't get a color name anywhere on the marker. So that's kind of a bummer. But other than that, I like these. They're pretty nice little markers. So I can make community posts here now. That opens up to me. That's one of the things that you can do when you get to 1,000 subscribers. So now if there's information I want to share with you guys or anything, I can make a little community post which goes up, and that's really neat. I'm happy to have that ability. I've made a couple posts on there, and I see that some of you have been able, some of you've liked the post, so I know you're seeing them, so that's awesome. I was very excited to finally get that capability, and that way I can kind of poll you guys and, you know, get your thoughts on different things, and any announcements that I want to make for the channel, I can post on there. If I'm planning a live feed, I can post that. And I made a post earlier today that I am considering trying to do a live stream sometime today. And yeah, I hope some of you guys can pop in, but I'm not so much doing it, you know, just to be having a live stream for the channel. I'm doing it hoping to learn a little bit about live streaming, because I want to do the 1,000 subscriber giveaway on the 15th. I'm wanting to do that on a live stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I figure I really need to test that out and figure out how that works. So if you guys see me pop on, bear with me. It'll be my first time trying to figure out how to make that work. I'm hoping my desk is big enough, because I know I'm going to have to set my laptop up so I can keep up with the chat and use my phone, I think, to live stream. I've played this out in my mind, and it sounds wonderful in my mind. I don't know how it's going to execute, but we'll find out. I'm just hoping, because I bought this narrow desk knowing that I didn't have a lot of room, and I don't know how that's going to work with my laptop. I may have to move some things off the desk and rearrange things a bit, but we'll figure it out. I don't know if they're still on sale, but the Amazon Basic 72 count pencils went down to 18, I believe it was 1886 maybe. And so I was able to snag those, because when they were $14.99, I didn't buy them, and I regretted it because they shot up to like $29.99. And they've been dancing between, you know, like they didn't stay at $29.99 too awful long, and they would come down just a little as a teaser, and then they would hop back up. I think the cheapest I had seen them get was around 26 maybe. And then they went down to 18, you know, 1886. And so I purchased them right then, as soon as I saw that they were on sale. So those should be here today, actually. So I'm looking forward to that, getting to take a look at those pencils. I've heard some wonderful, wonderful things about them. I did post that on the community board. I hope if any of you had been interested in those pencils that you saw that. I also posted it over in the Facebook group. So I hope some of you were able to take advantage of that. I seriously thought about going ahead and buying a second set, but I thought, maybe I should make sure I'm going to like the pencil first. You know, just because people rave about something doesn't mean it's going to be great for you necessarily, because we all have different likes and dislikes and what we prefer. And so I thought, yeah, you know, and if the price is back up by the time I get these and swatch them out and see what I think, that's fine. I'll just put them right back over in my wish list and continue to keep an eye on the price, and eventually it will come back down. That's how the Amazon game works. So and a good example of everyone has, you know, different likes and dislikes is I had heard wonderful things about the Castle Art pencils. So I had been keeping a close eye out on them, and they had went on sale, and I purchased the 72 set of those. And they came, and I sat down and I've swatched them. I really haven't colored with them yet, but I have swatched them out, and as of right now, I don't like them, like, at all. They seemed very, very waxy to me. A lot of, like, wax bloom kind of situation going on with those, just even in just the swatching. So, I wasn't very impressed with those, and I know a lot of people are, so that just kind of goes to show you that, you know, what one person really, really likes, another person may not. And I have learned not to necessarily judge something based off of just swatching it out, that you kind of need to test it on different paper, because different mediums just react different based off what paper. Even, you know, you'll hear a lot of us who review books and things like that will tell you, you know, this is Create Space paper. But even with Create Space paper, not all Create Space paper is created the same. Some of the Create Space paper is, in my opinion, better than others at certain things. And the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, when it comes to the thinner, toothier, you know, papers or whatever, there's always a medium that'll work. And you just have to figure out what the best medium is for that particular paper. And so if you have, you know, a set of pencils, like right now it's the Castle Arts, and I'm not impressed. I don't like them, at least not right now, just from swatching. But the paper that I swatched on, it may just be a situation that they don't work well on that paper. I may put it in, say, this book, and it may work great on this particular paper. Or I may try it in, you know, a Johanna Basford book, and it may work well in a Johanna Basford book. Every medium really behaves differently based off the paper that you use. And it doesn't seem, you know, when I first started coloring, I didn't put much thought into paper, and I never imagined that it was really that big of a deal, you know, what kind of paper you used. And, you know, I don't I'm not a paper snob at all. If I like an image, you know, if I like an artist and I like their work, I'm going to get their books and I'll figure it out from there. Because in my opinion, there's always a medium that's going to work on a particular paper. You just sometimes have to try different mediums until you figure it out. So that's what I'll do with the Castle Arts. I will kind of pull them out when I'm, you know, because I do like to shade a lot with pencils over marker. I'll always be a marker girl. I'm coming to that conclusion. I'm falling in love with using pencils over my markers, but still not feeling a lot of love when I sit down just with pencil. But you know, you never know, time will tell. So I mean, I'll try it with different papers when I need, you know, to shade or whatever. I'll pull the Castle Arts out and I'll just kind of give them a whirl and see what happens. And you know, you never know, it might be something that a certain kind of paper is really great with it. And it could have just been the paper I was swatching on. The colors, I mean, the colors were okay. I mean, they were. I didn't have a complaint as far as the colors went. It was just the way they felt laying down. And I asked a friend about it, and she doesn't like hers either. And it was very ironic that she was coloring with them when I proposed the question. The page that she had been working on, she was using her Castle Arts, and she didn't like them. But I asked another friend about Castle Arts, and she said she loves them a lot. So, you know, that's just, it's all a difference in, you know, what people like to color with. The green spread over into the little circles. It'll be okay. What I'll probably just do is use one of my Sparkle Pops, just to kind of go over those little dots, and it'll give it a sparkly little look that way since the ink kind of went over. It's fine. So I bought a couple coloring books this morning. I ordered them off of Amazon, and they'll be here Friday. I finally gave in and purchased Hannah Carlson, Daydreams. I think I've looked at those books, and I believe that Daydreams would be probably my favorite. I would still like to have Hannah's other books, but I'll just kind of keep them on my wish list and look at them periodically and see. But I looked and I thought Daydreams seemed to be my ultimate favorite of those. It doesn't seem to have as many people, I think, in the Daydreams book. And that's like the only real complaint that I've had looking at the Hannah Carlson books, is that, you know, they're double-sided images. They're gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Even her people are just absolutely gorgeous. But they are single-sided. And we all know that I love my markers. And this is going to be 54, which is just a darker green in the Ohuhu. But since I love my markers so much, you can't use those markers in that Hannah Carlson. There's just no way. I'm going to have to test some mediums, but until I get really good with pencils, or what I was thinking also is getting some pastel skin tone pencils And maybe I could do the faces in the skin tone pencils, maybe, of like pastels. I'm not really sure, but when I get those, I think that I would definitely enjoy working in the other Hannah Carlson books. But I can use my Pitt pens, and I'll test Tombows, but Tombows have a tendency to bleed through paper. Even some of the thicker paper, the Tombows want to bleed. So I don't know about the Tombows, but you know, I've got my super tips. I've got my fine liners, my Stabilo, what is it, 88s. I'll find something because I really, really like that book. I think it's gorgeous. And I definitely want to get her other books also. But this one seemed to stand out to me as my favorite. It has a unicorn in it. And I love, love, love unicorns. Excuse me. So I got the Hannah Carlson Daydreams. It'll be here tomorrow. Negative. It'll be here Friday. It'll be here Friday. So that'll be nice. And then one of my subscribers and one of the members over in my group, I don't want to, say a name just in case I don't want their name thrown out, but they've recently gotten this really cute little animal book. And it's like circles, and they're similar to like the Tabitha Barnett, maybe, not broken circles, but maybe, oh, I don't know, some of the stuff. It's the feel I got off of it. But look at that, I forgot her hand. See, guys, I'm nuts about that. They're so cute. They're these little circles, and it's like animal circles or something to that effect. But they are just precious, and she's been coloring in it, and she's loved it. So I was like, okay, I've been in Abel's. I ordered the book, and I'll do a full flip through of that when it comes in for everybody to see, because I think you guys will like it. I know I definitely do. I'm going to use 33 for her hair. If I can find my 33. There it is. So, I look forward to coloring in that one. The images are just precious. Just precious. So see, you guys say I enable you. You guys enable me too. Especially over there in that Facebook group. Seeing you guys, your pictures, and I'm like, okay, I want that book. My wish list has grown so much. And I've tried to be, just super picky about which books or whatever I'm purchasing at the time, going through them, looking at flip throughs, figuring out which one's my favorite right now that I really want. But I get enabled also. And someone had brought up over in the group, I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts a little bit. Someone had basically was pointing out certain books that are a little expensive in their opinion. And I'm not saying that they aren't. They are more expensive than some of the other books that, because these are on CreateSpace, and they are a little more expensive than other CreateSpace books. I mean, I admit they are. And they were basically saying that they were very disappointed in those prices. And it really got me thinking, because, you know, they were saying that, you know, if they can get these hardback books for almost the same price, and questioning, you know, whether or not, I guess, that they're good buys, or, you know, whatever. And my thought is, an artist, okay, this is just my thoughts, okay, just my thoughts, but when you have a company like, let's say, Jade Summer, and they're, you know, a larger group, they make a lot of different books, and they're able to publish these books, and they're able to do like really cheap introductory prices when a new book comes out. And that's wonderful, but you have to take into consideration that it's a company that's much more well known. They're selling a lot of books. I mean, a lot of books. And therefore they can kind of offer better prices, truly. Then when you have a small independent artist, and they don't sell as many books, and they spend a lot of time coming up with content for us, for their books, and they put a lot of hard work into creating these things. Okay, artists don't, I mean, they can't work for nothing. I mean, that's their job, you know, that's how they make a living. Most artists aren't, you know, these independent artists, they're not, I mean, they may be doing it for the love, you know, of art also, but they're also doing it to make profit, you know, and they have to charge a certain amount of money to make the profit that they need to support themselves, to support their family, and that's what they take into consideration when they price their work. So I kind of expect a lot of times, truly, for independent artist work to be a little more expensive, because, I mean, they put a lot of time and a lot of effort. And to say, you know, I've always said that I think Amazon should offer better options, printing wise, to their artists. They should offer different ranges of paper. They should, you know, that the artist could choose, because then, you know, they could, but, and I know I'm stumbling over my words so much here, but a lot of our independent artists, they cannot afford to go to big companies and pay crazy amounts to have their books published. Their only option may be to go through like Amazon and things like that to get their books printed. And these are the only options that Amazon is giving them. So to say that it costs more than another book. I mean, that's really relative, I guess. I don't want anybody to take anything I'm saying wrong, because I'm not being like negative or anything, but art's not cheap. I mean, it's just not. And I'm picking colors. Sorry. But you know, it's not cheap. Look at, I don't have any of these books, so I have no idea what the quality of the paper is. None. But one thing that was pointed out was that, and you know, this wasn't, I don't think, an attack on any one particular artist. I think it was just an in general comment. But you know, the point had been made that the PDF was practically just as expensive as the book and things like that. But have any of you heard of Jane Hanskins? I believe it is Jane F. Hanskins or something like that. Her artwork, her books are like $39.99 or something like that. And there's only like 20 images, 25 images maybe in the book. And they're like $40 books. Now, the images are gorgeous. But if you go and check her like online presence, you know, for the PDF, it's still $39.99. You're not even getting a discount at all. And that is an artist who is charging for her art. I mean, it's what it is. You don't know what kind of overhead she has or how much, you know, goes into this. But I guess the whole point I was trying to make is it's not easy for an artist. And we can't expect to have just dirt cheap art. It's expensive for them. Their time is worth money. And truly, the book that was in question, Hannah Lynn books and things like that, they're on CreateSpace also, and they're not much cheaper. And I mean, that was just kind of my thought on that. And I guess that all comes back to what I've always said, is that I'm going to look at someone's art, and if I like their art, then I'm going to buy their books, and I'm going to support them, and I'm going to color their art. Because that is something I really like. And if I don't like the paper that it's printed on, then I'll get a PDF, or I'll just get the book and make copies myself. But you know, that's just kind of my thoughts on that. And I mean, if you guys have any other thoughts, by all means chime in. You know, tell me what you think. That was kind of a tangent to go off on there, and I don't know if it even made much sense to anyone other than me. But it was just some thoughts that I had kind of had. I'm doing the little yellow brick road here. I'll do this yellow, and so it'll look kind of gold, I hope. So for those of you in the U.S., did you watch the State of the Union address? I did not. I did not. And I really don't want to talk politics on the channel, so I mean, I really won't get into it. But some of the circumstances surrounding that whole thing just, I don't know. It's insane. The state of our union is, I wish it was in a much better state. I mean, I can definitely say that. But, I didn't watch that last night. I was like, oh, no. No, 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 no. You know, we had the Super Bowl here in Atlanta, too, over the weekend. And I saw a picture that was taken. It's a huge panoramic of the entire stadium, and it was the coolest thing ever. Truly. I mean, I've never seen such a cool photo. You could zoom in and tag yourself or anyone that you knew that happened to be at the Super Bowl. And this was like a way off in the distance picture, but you could zoom it all the way in, all the way up, even into like the nosebleed seats, and see these people. It wasn't pixelated, it wasn't blurry, it was just crazy cool the way that was. I had never seen anything like that before. I didn't know anybody that went to the Super Bowl or anything, but I probably sat there for 15 minutes just playing around with that that picture that I found, just zooming in and out, looking at the different places in the stadium. I mean, it just blew me away. I have no idea how they did that, but that was just so incredible. It really was. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. And apparently there was like a little bit of controversy over Adam Levine and the fact that he lost his shirt in the Super Bowl and was questioning, you know, just, I don't know, comparing him taking his shirt off to when Janet Jackson had the wardrobe malfunction several years ago at the Super Bowl, and I don't think the two compare, but I mean, I don't know. And then, you know, everybody's always going to find something to complain about. One of the artists that was there, he's a, I believe he's like R&B or a rapper, and he had wore a fur coat, and PETA had a fit over that. I don't like the idea of fur, you know, real fur. If you're going to wear fur, I think it should be faux fur, because I never would support the death of an animal that the sole purpose was for its fur or its skin. I mean, if the animal's being, you know, eaten for, wonderful to use every bit of that animal, but not if it's being targeted just for, you know, fur. But my question would be, how in the world was he wearing that big fur coat in Atlanta? Because I'm telling you, it was warm Sunday night. It was nuts. Adam Levine was much more prepared, shirtless, for the weather in Atlanta Sunday nights. Okay. So, I don't know. I guess, for me, I don't understand why people always look for something to not be happy about. You know, it doesn't matter what it is anymore, it seems. People are going to criticize it. They're going to point out where it's wrong, or, you know, what have you. It's just, it's nuts. It's crazy. You know, it wouldn't have mattered what kind of halftime show there was. It wouldn't have mattered at all. No matter what went on, there would have been complaints of some sort. And it's like that. It seems like with every aspect of our lives now. It's everything. It's sports. It's politics. It's everything. You know, it's like we live in the United States of the offended. And that just, it drives me crazy, because when I was younger, you know, growing up and as a young adult, the world wasn't like this. Not like it is today at all. You know, today everybody is being critiqued. Everybody is being watched. Everybody is just having fingers pointed at them. It does not matter. You know, I saw a thing on Facebook a long time ago, and it's the truth. It really is. It said, you can't please them all, but pissing people off is a piece of cake. And it's so true. So true. And even when I started my YouTube channel, that was kind of a concern I had. I was like, well, am I going to truly express, you know, openly my opinions? Will I lose subscribers by doing that? Will I not get subscribers? Will, you know, people be offended? And finally, I just had to come to the conclusion that, and you can tell, sometimes I get kind of quiet when I'm wording things, and that's when I'm trying my best to make sure that I'm being understood, you know, for what I'm saying, and things aren't being misinterpreted or misunderstood. But the truth of the matter was, you know, and that's the conclusion I had to come to, is that you can't please everybody. You know, you just can't. I like to color with markers. There's people who only like to color with pencils, and they may not want to be a part of my channel because I don't color with pencils a lot. Okay, well, why should I be miserable just to please, you know, those few people? And, you know, my opinion on a matter, someone may not like my opinion. Well, you know, I am who I am. And, you know, that's just the way it is. But it just, and some of you may not feel that it's a problem. And I mean, I know it's a huge problem here in this country, and I don't know what it's like in other countries. So if you're not in the United States and you're watching this, I mean, are people just offended in your country as easily as it seems like people are here? I mean, Adam Levine taking his shirt off at the Super Bowl, was that a big deal? Would that have been a big deal in your country? Would that have been something that people would have made an issue with? You know, I'm kind of curious, because it just, when I see these things, I just kind of shake my head. But it just irritates me so bad. It truly does. It's like, why? Why do we look? Why does it seem as if people look for reasons to be unhappy these days? You know, why do people let things stress them out? Why do they cater to all of this? And I think a lot of it has started to come down to hate. I mean, there's so much discontent and hate in our country right now, and I'm not sure where that started. You know, I have a few opinions, but I don't know. It's just, It's just nuts. Me, I don't look for reasons to be unhappy. I truly don't. I want to be happy. I want to experience good things in life. I want to enjoy things. And honestly, it's kind of a drag when I get around people who are from that offended groups that just feel that there's always something negative. There's always something to complain about or to make issue about. And I don't know if it's just activism maybe, and truly they say things and do things just to bring attention to their causes. I just think that there's better ways to do that. But I mean, I don't know. It just blows my mind. It's like, can we not just enjoy, and I didn't watch the Super Bowl, so I've only seen the little clips, but I haven't seen anything that I was offended by. It was a halftime show at the Super Bowl. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Put all my thoughts in a bucket and you're not going to get a cup of coffee. I know they're not important or life-changing or anything like that, but they are mine. Okay, got the yellow brick road done. It's kind of trying to decide what to do with her, the rest of her face and everything. Oh my goodness, I closed my swatch book. That's not good. Here we go. Back to oh hoo hoos. This is 5. I think I'm going to use 5 and 3 to do the little petals on the roses. So when I went to the doctor on Monday, they've got a new system. They're moving over to the electronic it's where all your medical records are kept electronically and not, like on paper. And Gary actually worked with this physician's assistant when he was a paramedic before he became, went to school and became a physician's assistant. And this PA is very old school. He likes, paper. So he's having to move over to the electronic system. And so, he's not real thrilled about having to do this anyway. Huge pain butt. But since they've got this new system, I had to do, on a little iPad, I had to redo all my paper, work, my registration or whatever in there and everything. And oh my goodness, I couldn't help but crack up at some of this stuff. I mean, truly, it was something. They have all these questions that you have to answer. Putting in all your information and, everything. But what just blew me away, it was crazy, in my opinion. I was like, oh my goodness. They, when it was asking about, okay, it wanted to know one part of it wanted to know your race. Okay. And when I see race, the first thing I think is, okay, let me go find white or Caucasian. Lord help me. It was much more difficult than that. There was probably between race and ethnicity. It's two separate questions. Okay. One, it's like, why can't just one be good enough? But no. Under race, there was probably 100 or more different things to choose from. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I did not know that it was possible to be that many things. I mean, it was nuts. There was words I could not pronounce. I had absolutely no clue what they were or what country those people may have been from that were that race. It was just nuts. But what really, really blew my mind was some of it was just so oddball. I finally found white listed, not Caucasian, white. Finally found that. But white was not just an option by itself. It was like white this or white that. And I'm like, okay. One said white and then mountain. What is White Mountain? I mean, is that my relatives from the Appalachians? I mean, you know, my relatives do come from the Appalachian Mountains. So is that what it means? White Mountain? Is it basically a nice way to say hillbilly? I don't know. It was just cracking me up. Some of these things. And I was having such a hard time keeping a straight face, looking through this, wanting to kind of shake my head. But then, this is what really struck me as crazy. And you had to choose some of this stuff. I mean, not choosing wasn't an option. You know, you better know your race. And I mean, you better know it specifically or you couldn't answer this question. It was, you know, very, very specific. And ethnicity was the same way. But then it wanted to know sex. And it didn't just say gender or, you know, it could have just said gender, but it didn't say gender. It said sex, but it didn't just say sex. It said birth sex. Okay? Birth sex. So they wanted to know your sex at time of birth. Okay. Well, the choices were, and this is what cracked me up. The choices were male, female, or I don't know. That I laughed out loud. I really did when I read that part. Because darn it, out of over 100 things, you better know what your race is, but it's okay if you don't know what sex you were born as. And I'm not saying that not to be sensitive, you know. I mean, I understand that there are some medical conditions that people can be born with that could put into question if they're male or female at birth. So I'm not being unsensitive. I just found that crazy that there were all these choices under race and ethnicity and you had to choose one. I don't know was not an option in any of those. But you got an I don't know underneath your birth sex. It was crazy. It took me so long to get through all of that mess. And I had a pretty good time, though, between me and two other people. I mean, even though I was feeling really crappy, there was two other people in the waiting room that we were going through, filling these papers out on this electronic system. And so we were making, you know, light of the situation to try to, you know, just kind of ease it along because we all felt pretty bad. But that just struck me as, it just struck me as funny. Oh. A subscriber had contacted me yesterday to let me know that they had gotten their small meanings 60-piece alcohol marker set. The ones that were $14.99, and now I think they're $15.99. And they wanted me to know that, and it turned out 4 of the markers were this way, and they sent me a little video, and it was nuts. She was just like holding the marker up, you know, like this, and just ink was just pouring out of it. It was crazy. And she said 4 total were that way. So she wanted just to kind of give everybody a heads up. 4 out of 60s, not bad, truly, at that price. But I also believe that when you purchase something, you should expect to get a decent product. But she just kind of wanted everybody, you know, if they wanted to have a little heads up that that was an issue with the markers that she received. So I told her I would pass that along. So if any other of you had gotten those markers, if you have issues, let me know. I'm kind of curious if that was just a bad batch that she received, or if that's something that may just be an issue in general. But someone had found those markers and pointed them out and wanted to share them, so I passed the information along. I didn't buy that set because I just have so many markers. I still haven't bought the Das Kids yet, and I need to because I really want to try those. When they were pointed out to me, I was like, oh, yeah, you know, that was just something that I really super want to try. But I haven't even gotten around to that. So I just have so many markers. And I love them. I mean, I don't know that anybody can ever have too many. But it's like I find a new brand and I'm like, oh, I need to try these. And I do want to try those Das Kids. The price on those have went from $19.99 up to $21, I believe, or $21.99. So I kind of really try to keep an eye on prices. I'm itching to try a new brand of gel pen. I haven't tried a new brand in a while, and some of my gel pens in the set I have is getting a little low, and I don't know. It's just time. So soon I'll probably pick out another brand to try. I think I may do the Filas this time and see what I think of the Filas. I think there's 120 different colors in the Filas in the glitters. So, and I think you get 240 total. You get the 120 plus 120 refills. And I think it's like $18.99. So I want to give those a try, see what I think of them. Okay. Excuse me. Lately, I have gotten some crazy packaging when I have received things from Amazon, and I don't know what has gotten into Amazon lately. I don't know if it's just certain facilities that they're having issues with. Maybe the facilities that are close to Georgia. I don't know. But I've gotten some packages, and the things, I think I told you guys about 2 packs of Black Widow pencils and a pack of Pebbles chalk. All 3 of those shoved down into just a padded envelope and shipped. That was something. I was very, very disappointed in that. And, you know, the pencil boxes were smashed, and some of the pencil leads were broken. The Pebbles chalk was all messed up, and it was a mess. And I've gotten several things lately from Amazon that arrived in just packaging that I just really thought was just not good in general. Just a poor representation of Amazon, and I don't know what the deal is, but the pencils and the Pebble chalk were a gift, and the person who had ordered them had contacted Amazon. Amazon says, okay, we're going to ship again. Lo and behold, it comes in another bubble wrap, and it's like, you're kidding me. But not only was it not in the bubble wrap, it was not the right one that was shipped. So that was kind of crazy too. And so the person's like, okay, here's the deal. You're going to ship this. You're going to ship the right one. You're not going to ship it in an envelope. And if you don't, we're going to refuse shipment, you know, what have you. And so this comes in the mail, and it does come. Okay, the Pebble chalks, it was the Pebble chalks that was having the issue with at this point. The Pebble chalks did come in the mail, and they came in a box. It's like, oh, okay, we're making some progress. And then when you opened the box, it was, instead of having like the blow up bubble wrap or whatever, instead of having that in there to protect the Pebbles chalks, it was the daily newspaper ads. It looked truly like something that you would have bought off of eBay from an individual being shipped. You know, it was the daily ads. But that's okay. I mean, it didn't arrive damaged. But it was just kind of strange. I looked at the ads. I didn't find anything I was interested in. But I told my friend, I said, you know, you've heard of the people of Walmart. Like, we should really start a segment and call it the packages of Amazon. Because between the way Amazon packages things sometimes and the way the mail carriers handle it, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Okie dokie, guys. We are at a little over an hour. This is where we've gotten to. I think she's looking real nice. I'm going to go ahead and close this video out for today. I will finish her up, and right at the end of the video, the completed picture will be there for you to see. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed our chit chat. It was nice to catch up with you guys again. It's been a few days, and hopefully I'll live stream later and maybe get to say hello to a few of you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe if you're not. We would absolutely love to have you here. And until next time, guys, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys.